Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome back to the channel where you finally join me and the Clio 172 Cup at the Clio Sport Festival at Anglesey Race Circuit. We've now finished the track driving, and to say this morning was awful would be an understatement. A bad night's sleep, a wet track, just not the perfect ingredient for me. I do like it when it's like this, dry and sunny, but the afternoon session has been fantastic. There's just not really a lot going on for the rest of the day, but I'll give you a tour and the sights and the sounds of the Clio Sport Festival. I made the decision to brim the little Clio before heading off, so that all I had to do Friday was jump in the car and go. Well, that's the first items in the car. It's Wednesday night. We're leaving obviously Friday evening straight after work and driving to Anglesey. 4.5 hours after a long day. Oh boy, in this car with all the harnesses, the wraparound seats and my tent from eBay that I spent £15.85 on. Claims it'll sleep 2 people, but yeah, let's see. I've got to get the sleeping bag out of the loft and then put my clothes in one bag, crash helmet, and off we go. Obviously, being the Clio Sport Festival, she had to be looking her best, so I gave her a quick spruce, ready for the road trip. Now, I'm sure you'll agree, this probably wasn't the best idea. I made the decision to go to work and then jump in the Clio at around, I think it was 3 o'clock, and head off to Anglesey on a bank holiday Friday. As the speedo was intermittently dropping in and out, I made the decision to use Waze. For those in the UK who have used it, yeah, it probably is the fastest way to get around, but it'll half take you on some back roads to get you there. But ultimately, the Clio was impractical as expected, and it was baking hot. So driving down the road with the windows down, no aircon, no heat insulation on the underside of the dash, it wasn't the most pleasurable experience. As always on the road, your choices for food are limited, and the Burger King was the next stop. Not the finest looking meal, I'm sure you'll agree, but again, full belly, it was time to carry on, and unfortunately I was just hitting traffic, accident, traffic again, and another accident throughout the journey. The rain showers continued to keep coming, and unfortunately the Clio wiper blade also decided that it had enough and got stuck at the 12 o'clock position. Fortunately, after this, the rain did stop, and this meant that I just carried on my journey with enough fuel to get to Anglesey and look at it later on. Now, the concern was that the actual wiper mechanism motor could be broken, and I was going to be in a lot of trouble because rain was forecasted in for the following day. Filling up at the Anglesey Shell Garage, I made my way to the Anglesey Race Circuit. Unfortunately, it was pitch black, no lights, and I had to assemble my cheap tent in the dark. Thankfully, there was a bar where we managed to get a pint of beer, but what I can tell you is I had probably one of the worst night's sleep in years being out in the rain and the wet in my bargain bucket tent. The following morning, I woke to a very, very wet tent. Yep, you gotta say it. It was a silly idea spending £15 on a tent, but I don't do camping, so I was never gonna use this thing again. The idea was use it once, throw it in the bin, not mess about trying to get it back in the bag or any of that nonsense. But yeah, it did not do well. And again, moving back to that night when I arrived at the circuit, the gatekeeper there said, look, it's going to be heavy rain tonight. Hope you got a good tent and strap it down. I was like, joy, this is just going to be the night from hell. So with an hour's sleep, I had my first look at Anglesey Race Circuit in the morning. It certainly didn't look like a festival, that's for sure. It was very much a track day, which isn't the end of the world. That's what I came there to do, drive the car, but there was nothing that really, I would say, was a dedicated car theme festival. It was just like any other track day I'd been to. But I wanted to make the most of it, so I figured, you know what, let's jump in the car, get going. Well, it's a cold and wet morning at Anglesey, as you probably saw in the tent, in the little clip I just put in. Absolutely rubbish night. Chucked it down, and the tent, unfortunately, is not completely waterproof. But yeah, car started, some kind gentleman next to me with his phase 1 race car lent me a 13mm socket, and we have the wipers working again. Thank God we didn't have any more rain after that fault with them coming loose. So it looks like it was just one of the 13mm nuts that unfortunately backed off. Whether it was the heavy rain and the wind, who knows. But yeah, just waiting for the briefing. Unfortunately the CAF is shut. Had a nice Madre in there last night. It's like a CAF bar, but yeah, just waiting for everything to open up now. So for those of you that watched the E46 video, well, that is the bollard that nearly took the rear of the car out last time. So again, a wet day. Lovely. With the briefing complete, it was time to get the Clio on track. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was being tired, maybe it was wet. I wasn't feeling this track day at all. And as you'll see from this lap, I just wasn't getting engaged with the car. What I will say is it always looks a lot slower on camera than it does when you're actually in it. But I was really struggling to gel with it. So I took the car out, did a few laps to get some heat and everything. And yeah, I pushed on, but I was just really lacking the confidence in it. It felt nothing like Cadwell that I'd done previously. Cadwell, the old girl, was on fire. It felt like it was stuck to the road, but it did not feel like this on the track day. But anyway, enjoy some sounds of the RS2 and engine dynamics mapping magic. The afternoon's weather did improve, much needed. It was still damp in places, but the pace really picked up. The problem was, I was tired. I'd been really slack with charging all the GoPros the night before. I had an SD card fail. And I've got to say, guys, I'm really sorry. I didn't give this video the 110% it deserved. I really should have gone the night before and stayed in a hotel. And maybe seeing it on a fresh set of eyes, I'd have had a much better day. But what I will say is my good friend Andy came up. We had some laps out together and it was really good catching up with him. If anything, that made it worth the trip for me. So the question is, would I go to Clio Sport Festival again? Well, for me, I've done it. There wasn't enough there for me to say it's a festival. It was expensive in the terms that I think from memory it was £130 with the morning track session. When I went in my E46 M3 on a normal track day, it was £130 for the whole day. The Clio Sport Festival was cool to see all the Renault Sports there, and I met a few of you subscribers, so that was wicked catching up. Again, hope I wasn't too grouchy and miserable. But for me, it's a one-time trip. I've got the pictures, got the video, and it's done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing. I want to be honest and say there's probably not going to be a lot of Clio content this year. I'm just really not sure what to do with the car at the moment. But yeah, I'll keep you updated, and until the next adventure.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the shitbox experience.
I did, mate, yeah. She goes well, she does.
You're an old girl, mate.
You know?
For a driveway built Banshee.
Getting on for 20 years, I think.
21.
Yeah, 21, yes, right, yeah.
100 and, well, the speedo's not working now. Would have been coming up to 135.
Yeah.